What do you think about the importance of these amateur events like the ones Chase is hosting here?
These are huge. Like when I was coming up riding, there was always AM contests in Southern California at the Claremont Skate Park and Real Ride, the Compound, and dirt jams everywhere. So it was like a way to kind of, you know, you're always gonna ride if you love it, but it's cool to like, when your parents ask or something like, is there any contest or anything to go to? Or like anything, like we want to buy you these, if we want to buy you these bike parts, like, is there anything to focus on or whatever, you know?
Show us something.
Show us something, yeah. So it's cool to like, one, you go meet tons of people every time you go to these AM contests, and two, if you feel like, you know, you got some skills and you want to show it off, it's a way to see how good you actually are, you know? It's fun. A little bit of competitiveness is really good for people, I feel like.
So Chase kind of created this monster and then kind of eventually passed this one on to you and to Chad. What's that like having this in essentially your backyard?
Yeah, the first couple years were just in Austin, and me, Lacey, and Chad would come out and help judge and just help out with the whole thing because we thought it was really cool, and Chase is a good friend of ours and he wanted us involved, so we're like, yeah, of course. So we backed it. Like I said, AM contests are so important and I wanted to do whatever I could to help out, and now there's 2 stops now, and this being in San Diego is so cool because there hasn't been like a proper AM contest here in a while. There was like the recon tours and some cool contests around, but over the last couple of years there wasn't really anything for the kids with talent to show off their skills, and the kids who just want to meet new other riders and, you know, have something to look forward to. So just being involved with this, and even not being involved with it, just having this AM contest in San Diego is so badass.
Well, Lakeside's actually pretty much your hood where you grew up.
Yeah.
Right?
Funny enough, yeah, I grew up in a La Mesa, El Cajon area, and my best friend lived in Lakeside growing up, so I was out there literally every weekend. Lakeside was like my second home, and it's cool too because I see so many familiar faces, and that skate park's brand new. It used to just be kids with ramps in their backyards and dirt jumps, and there was still such a big scene, so it's dope to have that park now, and it's just every day you go there, it's just flooded with riders, and cool riders too, like a bunch of rad dudes, real modest with their heads on straight, just out there shredding every day.
Would you say that park's done a lot for the progression of the riders that live in that general area?
Totally, because like I said, in Lakeside, growing up there, my best friend had a cool backyard. His parents let us dig dirt jumps and make a little mini ramp. And now that was like our spot to ride, and the couple schools were really good, but there was no skate park for us to ride. If there was a skate park, man, we would have had even more fun out there. So now a lot of those kids stopped riding too, because like a bunch of those kids are my age, those people are my age, and I stopped seeing them around, and then I started going to Lakeside Park once they built it, and all these friends that like when I was super young going out to Lakeside, now they're all riding again, so the scene out there it's created is rad. It's the only good park in East County that allows bikes.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones, but they're kind of like, gotta hop the fence and all this.
Well, and it seems like the type of park that has park elements and street elements, it seems like an ideal park to have near your home.
Exactly, it's a little bit of everything. I wish there was, if that park is empty, you can ride it like, you know, big hips and like tons of transfers and stuff. But when it's packed, you can kind of like, you can jib around and ride it street. Like you said, it's a nice all-around park, a little bowl in the back too.
Is it a park that you actually go to quite a bit when you're home?
When I lived in La Mesa, I went there a lot more, but now I live near downtown, so it's a little bit of a mission. But when I'm on a schedule where I'm getting up early, I'll go ride it, because I like going there when there's not a bunch of people there. And the scene's so big that if you go there, any given sunset session is packed, which I like, but you got to be in the right mindset to go ride a packed park.
It's kind of a social thing.
Exactly, just go hang out. But I haven't been there in a while, actually.
Been
traveling a lot.
So Chase's events in the past have really kind of introduced us to some new riders.
Yeah.
Do you see some riders out there with potential to really make it on the map?
Yeah. Every one of these things, like from the very first one, Lil Juice won the very first one in Austin, and he's put on now. He's got sponsors. He's like million views to Open El Toro. Like, I really think that contest helped push him. You know, he would have been fine. He would have blown up on his own, but I think it just threw him in the limelight really fast. Also, Cole Volker from San Diego, Dave Volker's son. That kid, you know, he's super young. He was like 15 when he won, and I feel like aside from it putting him on into the spotlight, I've seen the motivation in him grow. Like knowing, like, dang, like I was saying earlier, you know, people think of competitiveness as like kind of being jockey or whatever, but I feel like there's a really good side to it too. Like someone like Cole, like probably never would have thought too much about competing, and then the contest comes to his local park, and now he's like, dang, I won this huge amateur contest, and now I see him riding more than ever and motivated, and Etney's strapped on his feet. He's all hooked up now, so that's cool.
So what's your role at the event?
Waxing rails, making sure people are out of the judge's way, a bunch of really minor task. Just hanging out with the locals and stuff. It's real easy. Normally at the other ones, me and Chad and Lacey are judging all of them. So it's nice to we get to do what Chase does at the other one, just kind of make sure everything's running good. And if the judges need us to move people out of the way, or the riders are going to do a gap, you know, that's making sure there's nobody in the way. And really, like I said, not much.
That's good.
Hanging out with kids and making sure the event's running good. Making sure everyone's happy. Grabbing waters for people.
Are you going to the Austin event this year?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go out and judge that again. And then if I don't know if Chase said anything, but there's rumors about letting Lacey have his own event too. So the SAM contest might move over to England. So
when was the first time when you were coming up in the industry that you were actually getting sent on trips? I mean, the guy that wins this gets sent to Texas as well. That's pretty huge for a young rider. When did you start getting sent on trips? I mean,
actually, the first thing was that I got sent on was an amateur contest called PlayStation Big Hookup, and it was pretty similar. It was done through PlayStation, so they did all these stops, and I went to one in Orange County and did good in it, and then they flew me to Woodward East, my first big trip. I was like 15, real young, and they sent me out there to ride with all the other people who qualified. It was like Brandon Dosh, Mike Spinner, Josh Perry, and I met all these dudes out there and rode that contest too.
So it's kind of full circle.
Kind of the same thing, yeah. That's why when Chase was telling me and Chad and Lacey about this, we were all so down, because these AM contests help so much if you want to start traveling and doing the BMX thing, you got to start somewhere, you know. Edits and stuff can only go so far, but riding in front of people real life goes even further, I think. Huge thanks to Chase and the Border for throwing these contests, because without them, it'd be a lot harder to run these amateur contests so smoothly. Such a great thing they're doing. I'm proud to be involved with it.